Have any of y'all out there ever wondered what it would be like to actually, literally play an anime? Well, here you can! Hi there, everybody, this is David, and welcome to my review of Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai. Before we do begin with this review, I would like to thank Square Enix for sponsoring this video and providing me a key for review. I personally played it on my PS5, but the game is also available today for purchase on the PS4, the Xbox Series X and S, the PC, and the Nintendo Switch as well. This marks the latest spin-off in the long-running Dragon Quest series, my favorite series of all time, and it is the first true action RPG in the franchise as well. But how does it all pan out? Come with me and let's find out. A couple things that you're going to want to know right from the get-go is that there are two difficulty modes, the Storyteller mode and the Adventurer mode, which correspond to the easy and normal difficulties. But after you complete the game, an added challenge mode will be unlocked, which offers you even stronger opponents to fight from and will surely put your skills to the ultimate test. You can also choose to have the voice acting in either English or Japanese, and all of the story sequences and cutscenes are fully voice acted by the exact same voice actors from the anime show itself. You know how Loop 8 kind of sold itself on you being able to play inside of an anime world? And now every time I turn around, there's some new JRPG promising an anime experience? They're all over the place. But while those little knockoffs want to immerse you into some sort of fake anime, this here is the real deal. Because Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai is a real anime that I remember watching back when I was a kid in the early 90s, and recently, I guess in anticipation of this game, it's been remade and it's now available to watch over on the Hulu. So instead of playing a game that's like an anime, here you could just literally play an anime, as the story follows the show all the way up until the Battle of Sovereign Rock. The game opens as Dai faces off against Baran, the leader of the Dark Army who's hell-bent on destroying humanity, and over the course of the battle, Baran shatters Dai's memories, which sets off the action of the game. You're promptly sent back to the beginning as you go back to relive Dai's adventures, recollecting all the fragments of his memories and regaining all of his powers. You do this through 3 different types of stages. Story stages, which essentially just play movies for you to watch, with each movie pretty much covering one episode of the anime. Another stage consisting of both story sequences as well as battling, and a third optional stage which consists of just battles. Although you do move along and progress in a linear fashion, with the game clearly marking exactly which stage you need to tackle next in order to move on, if you want to, you can go back and revisit any stages that you want, for grinding purposes or to rewatch the storyline sequences that you may have missed. Many of these storyline stages are presented in kind of like a sepia-toned manner, while others play out just like they would in the anime, and they last anywhere from about 3 to 5 minutes, summarizing the story very succinctly. Here you can also rewind, fast forward, or just skip them in their entirety. It's completely up to you. You begin as the only human on Durham Line Island, a tiny spit of land that's not under the Dark Lord's control. So here, all the monsters have free will, and they're all on friendly terms with humanity. While in the rest of the world, monsters and humans are, at each other's throats. That is, until Dark Lord Hadler is revived by Vern, the ruler of the underworld, and he comes out to exact his revenge against Dai's master Avon and his ridiculous purple George Washington hairdo. Anyway, after a long, grueling battle, Avon sacrifices himself to defeat Hadlar. So Pop, Avon's super cute, absolutely adorable disciple, decides to head off with Dai to exact revenge against the minions of the Dark World. Along the way, they meet up with Ma'am, another disciple of Avon, and the 3 of them set forth to liberate kingdoms of the world, defeat Hadlar's 6 generals, and ultimately Vern himself. Of course, they will meet up with some more party members along the way, but I don't want to spoil anything here. I just want to give you a basic overview. While the story sequences are incredibly fun and relaxing to watch, the combat is really where it shines. We've seen action-based Dragon Quest games before, most notably in the Heroes series. And while that played much more like a Dynasty Warriors, this plays much more like a traditional action RPG, with Dai acting as your stereotypical fighter, Pop as your mage, and Ma'am as kind of like a gunner, healer / support class. Thankfully, you're not stuck playing just as Dai. You can switch between all the characters and control them with the press of a button, and each of them play much differently than one another. Personally, I found it so satisfying to go in and charge in guns blazing with die and let loose with all my powerful attacks against the bosses. Then, whenever they were cooling down, I would switch over to pop and kinda have them like blast any kind of outlying enemies with long range attacks and then cast some ridiculous AoE spells, then head on back to die and do it all over again. The combat is fast, satisfying, fluid, and fun, with each of your skills working on a cooldown timer and your various party members having different coup de grace that they can pull off with the L2 button. The bosses and enemies telegraph their attacks, so it is then up to you to either dodge them if you can with the X button, or try to guard them in their entirety with the L1 button. The better that you are at guarding and dodging and pulling off combos, the more your coup de grace meter will fill up, and then the more pain that you can unleash upon the minions of the Dark World. As you enter each stage, it's going to give you a recommended party level, as well as a list of the various rewards that you'll receive through completion, which can range from gold to items to upgrade your bond memories or skills, to even new memories to equip. The bond memories kind of work similarly to how like an accessory or equipment would work in other RPGs, with each regained memory granting you bonuses to various stats, and some even granting you additional attacks, spells, and skills. At first, you'll begin with only 2 slots to equip these regained memories, but as you gain more levels, you'll gain more slots, and the memories themselves can also be further leveled up inside the Temple of Recollection. This completely optional area works similarly to the Ancient Cave in Lufia 2, where upon entry your levels will be reset to 0, and you just kinda have to like start over from scratch, diving deep inside and then choosing which doors you want to go into to grant yourself like a little bit more power, and then culminating with some boss fights. As the difficulty mode that you selected at the beginning of the game makes no difference here, the Temple of Recollection can be quite challenging. But those challenges are worth it, because after you complete 5 doors, you'll be able to choose to continue on going on deeper, or exit with the rewards that you have received. And it's here only that you can collect brand new, otherwise unobtainable special bond memories, as well as memory and skill fragments, which you can use to power up the bond memories that you've already received, as well as power up the skills that you've learned, therefore making you exponentially more powerful out in the real world. If collecting all these memories seems like a little bit overwhelming, there is a scrapbook that you can reference, organized by chapter and harkening back to the original Adventure of Dai manga. Here, you'll fill the scrapbook with the various memory fragments that you collect, and if you're missing a memory, it'll tell you exactly where to go and how to reclaim it. I had an absolute blast playing through this game, and I always know that I'm going to be receiving a quality product whenever I buy a Dragon Quest title. They have been delivering quality since I played the first one whenever I was 7 years old in 1989, and I have never been disappointed since. I love the gloriously cheesy dialogue. I loved watching Pop's growth as a character. He is just best boy and completely adorable. I loved delving into the Temple of Recollection and powering up my skills, and I just loved seeing what twists and turns were coming up next. We have a long wait until Dragon Quest XII Flames of Fate comes out, but this, the upcoming Dragon Quest Monsters, The Dark Prince, as well as the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, is going to make that long wait so much more bearable. So that's it for my review of Infinity Strash Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai. How do you feel about the game, and are you going to be getting it? Let's get a discussion going on here, and let's all talk and chat about it, because I'm always in the comments too. And if you like what I do here on the channel, please head on over to the Patreon to sign up for early access to my videos, as well as behind the scenes photographs. The link to it is over in the video description. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.